Right, you know the drill by now, folks. I, Henry, have some brilliant deals for you.
And I, Bex, also have some brilliant deals for you. Perhaps brillianter even.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Let's take a look. Also, this video is brought to you by Immortals of Avium. First up for me, we have a game with old school visuals and elegant simplicity, Vampire Survivors. This game really could not be more straightforward. There are a ton of monsters all over the screen that want to kill you, so try not to let them do that. But it's also endlessly compelling, with a roguelike loop that will have you coming back again and again to try out new weapons, test new strategies, and stay alive that little bit longer. Now is an amazing time to become a Vampire Survivor 2 because a free update that lets you play through the whole thing in 4-player couch co-op is set to arrive at the end of this week. So grab the game for 25% off in this week's sale, or from Game Pass, tag in a couple of buddies, and see how long you can survive.
Now, Bex, from Skynet to HAL 9000, mankind has been terrorized by plenty of AIs over the years. Although, I'll say this for the ones in Rimworld, they sure know how to tell a story. In this management sim, you play as 3 shipwreck survivors who find themselves stranded on a procedurally generated planet. As you try to survive and expand your colony, you'll find yourself beset by everything, from pirate raids to thunderstorms, and even the odd travelling salesman. But none of this is completely random. All the events being thrown at you are generated by an AI storyteller who knows just how to keep things exciting. So if you're looking for a survival game that's full of exasperating twists and shocking surprises, check out Rimworld for 25% off. And hey, if you fancy a list within a list, here are some other games that blend story with strategy. So give these Game Pass titles a go. Crusader Kings 3 is a historical strategy game that's all about the drama. If you want to see some furry friends face the horrors of war, try Fuga Melodies of Steel 1 and 2. Disney Dreamlight Valley is a life sim that whisks players away to the happiest place on Earth. In Frostpunk, your story can still have a very, very dark ending, even if you don't freeze to death. And finally, Inculinati proves once and for all that the pen really is mightier than the sword.
Available now on Game Pass, Chivalry 2 lets you experience the thrill of a medieval battlefield without, getting chopped into tiny pieces by an irate soldier.
Oh, finally.
This first-person slasher lets you get up close and personal with a variety of different weapons as you plunge into massive battles with up to 63 other players, creating the perfect blend of skillful combat and absolute anarchy. Plus, nothing makes you appreciate the smooth 60 FPS frame rates of the Xbox Series X and S like being surrounded on all sides by dudes with swords. And like so many of its combatants, Chivalry 2's price tag has been sliced right in half.
With Starfield's release now so close you can practically taste the rocket fuel, surely I'm not the only one who's in the mood for some spacefaring fun, and Everspace has plenty of that to offer. If you loved Chorus or Star Wars Squadrons, you'll love this one. This single-player space shooter has you crawling through a huge, gorgeous galaxy in your own little fighter ship, making new friends and blowing up bad guys. The fights here are fast and fluid, and you can use the spoils to power up your ship even further in all sorts of ways thanks to the game's in-depth crafting system. Everspace is now 75% off, and as luck would have it, the sequel hits Game Pass for Xbox Series X and S today. And for help keeping an eye on all the latest games joining the service, make sure you're subscribed and ring that bell.
Henry, I see your Everspace, and I raise you one of the strangest games out there, Kentucky Route Zero. This cult classic narrative game puts the player in control of a trucker who's just trying to make one last delivery when he finds himself embarking on a strange and mystical adventure along a secret Kentucky highway. He'll have to reckon with all sorts of strange sights along the way, including this big ass bird.
Damn!
But the game is so enchantingly atmospheric that pretty soon none of this will even seem all that weird to you. Still don't believe me? Take a trip down Kentucky Route Zero for 40% off this week and see for yourself.
Well, I don't know what that colonel was cooking up for that game, but I've got a quick question for you, Bex. Do you find yourself sympathising with the shark whenever you watch Jaws?
I do, actually.
Well, then you're actually a bit frightening, but maybe you should also play Maneater. In this sharky RPG, you'll get to explore a vast blue open world while munching your way up the food chain. As you eat, you'll inherit mutations that can give you all sorts of fishy new powers, from the voltage of an electric eel to a skull that would make a hammerhead jealous. The Apex edition also includes the Truth Quest DLC, so you can have even more fish guzzling fun, and it's now also had a 40% chunk bitten off its price tag.
Even if you're a total nobody, you can still save the world as long as you stay true to yourself and always do the right thing. Although actually having a super powerful magic wand helps too. Fortunately, you'll have one of those in Nobody Saves the World, and you'll get to use it to transform yourself into a rat, a rogue, a bodybuilder, and lots of other exciting stuff. Find a good way to mix and match the abilities from this bizarre range of classes, and you'll be able to take on any enemy that crosses your path. So if you've always dreamed of being a magician with some serious horsepower or a necromantic mermaid, then pick up Nobody Saves the World this week for half price.
Funnily enough, I've always dreamed of being a bodybuilding rat rogue. Anyway, time loops are all the rage these days, and Outer Wilds takes the Groundhog Day experience out into the stars. Hop from planet to planet in this open world adventure, piloting a clunky little spaceship as you try to figure out what happened to the people that used to be here. There are tons of sights to see and secrets to uncover, but you'll have to move fast, since every 22 minutes, a massive supernova destroys everything in sight. But you win some, you lose some, I guess. Outer Wilds makes for an even smoother journey in 60 FPS on the Xbox Series X and S, and it's now 40% off too.
Oh hey, it's my turn for a list in a list. If you fancy a sense of deja vu, check out these other awesome time loop games. 12 Minutes is a star-studded crime thriller that all takes place inside a small apartment. Deathloop has you being hunted by an elite killer across an exotic island. The Forgotten City sends the player back to ancient Rome to solve a temporal enigma. The Zero Escape series drops you into the world's deadliest escape room. And finally, Undertale's time loop is so strong that even restarting the game won't break it. A day one addition to Game Pass, Signalis is the perfect game to scratch that classic survival horror itch. Inspired by the likes of Resident Evil, Signalis features a 2.5D top-down art style that will have you constantly scanning the screen to see what's lurking in the corners. As you explore the ruins of a spaceship and the cold planet beyond, you won't find much in the way of health packs or ammunition. But horrible alien monsters? They've got plenty of them. All in all, it's a spine-tingling experience that draws on everything from H.P. Lovecraft to David Lynch to freak the player out. And it's now 25% off too.
2023 once again had John Wick thinking he was back, and we've all been the better for it. So why not celebrate by checking out his very own video game, John Wick Hex. This one uses a really unique brand of time-based strategy gameplay, and John Wick Hex truly makes you feel like an elite assassin as you take down entire teams of deadly enemies without even wrinkling your beautiful black suit. It's smart, intense, and stylish as hell. Everything you love about the films transmuted into a killer strategy game. So go give your dog some scratches, take a long look at a photo of your beloved dead wife, and pick up John Wick Hex for 90% off in this week's sale. Yeah, I'm thinking he is back. This week's sale had a pretty amazing lineup of indie hits on offer, but what are your favourite indie titles? Why don't you let us know down in the comments. This video was brought to you by Immortals of Avium, the brand new magic-based FPS from the creators of Dead Space and Call of Duty. This is first-person shooter combat as you've never seen it before, with dazzling visuals as you use the forces of magic rather than guns and weaponry. Become a battle mage named Jack, equipped with over 25 lethal spells, 80 talents, tons of magical gear that you can craft and upgrade, and save the world as it teeters on the edge of oblivion. Immortals of Avium will be released on August 22nd on Xbox Series X and S. Bye!
Bye!
Sandrax literally pushed us to the edge.
We're only going to win this one together. Sigil up.